To vote for Trump in 2024.
Oh yeah.
Why?
He loves Mexicans.
Oh my God, I will vote. I will vote for Donald Trump.
I do go a step further. You're right about that, Ilya. I favor ending birthright citizenship.
Why is no one talking about how dangerous Donald Trump's largest deportation operation would be? The one he says he wants to model after President Eisenhower's Operation Wetback?
Following the Eisenhower model, we will use all necessary state, local, federal, and military resources to carry out the largest domestic deportation operation in American history.
Mario and Mireya both crossed the border illegally as teenagers, but became citizens under President Ronald Reagan's amnesty. They see themselves as different from migrants crossing the border today. In what way do you think they're different?
The people that are coming here are the criminals.
When you hear Trump promise mass deportations, do you worry about them?
Yes and no, because the ones that I know, they're doing good. They're not breaking any laws.
I believe he's going to start deporting all the bad people.
Nowadays, we have in this United States 3 groups of Latinos Trump supporters. The first group is the come mierdas. These are the stuck-up huelebichos who believe that the little money they may have makes them white. The second group is the hallelujahs. These are the self-righteous rascabolas who firmly believe that their religion converts them into whiteness. And the last group are the ignorant dumbasses. These are the pendejos who believe without any historical evidence that they have always been white.
What to do with the business is, people? It's your boy That Way with Jack Travis to be precise, man. Now, you know how we do, you know how we doing it, and we are back in this thing again. You understand me, man? Back in this thing after the last week, bro. Had to let the dust settle, if you will. I don't know that the dust is settled. As a matter of fact, I think a lot of dust is about to be kicked up, if you dig what I'm saying, man. But if you don't understand what I'm talking about, of course, we had the presidential election this here past week, and the results of which I have got to say, I've got a lot to say about it, but I got to say I'm not surprised. You understand what I'm saying? Once we delve into the things that went on around this thing, man, and I'm not talking about any conspiracy or thing like that. We're going to point to some numbers, man, that just, when you look at it and all things considered, it's like, boy, you can lead a horse to water and watch him jump in is not the phrase, but apparently that's what's going on these days. You dig me? So before we get into that thing, man, if you like what I got going on, I think it's about to get hot around here. So keep up with your boy by liking and subscribing to the content. You dig what I'm saying? And we will move accordingly, as I always say, man. Again, Jack Travis in the building. So, Donald Trump is the 47th president of these here United States. And these are not a United States. Let me start by saying that. We live in a wild place, boy. America love the fuckery money. Like, man, you can depend on America to keep it hot. You know what I'm saying? You remember before Terrence J. them got off of 106 and Paul said, keep it locked. Man, America gonna make sure you keep it locked. It's just a big reality show, bro. Reality TV was the worst thing to happen to America. I promise you, bro. Like, everything is just like reality TV based. We make the worst decisions, man. We pick the most horrible people to represent us. We pay money and get to become fans of some of the worst crash outs ever seen on television. And everybody has a television camera in their pocket these days, so it's all out in the open. It's just a mess, man. It's just a mess, bro. But that's where we are, man. Now, you saw with the intro now. Man, I don't even know how to even, you know, again, with the intro, you saw people from the Hispanic heritage. You understand what I'm saying? That are breaking down some of the just obvious traps that Latino Americans have seemed to have walked themselves into on the back of voting for Donald J. Trump. Now, this is a wide, I won't even say wide ranging, but we got a lot of different little videos, man, a lot of different little pictures and tweets and things that have come up since Trump won. Now, Trump won with some crazy numbers, bro. Like, you know, I'm one for a good conspiracy. I ain't gonna hold you. You dig what I'm saying? It's odd. Now, I saw one figure, maybe I'll find the clip for it, that apparently in 2020 it was like 15, 20 more million votes counted as compared to every other year. But, you know, apparently Kamala got like 15 million less votes and Trump got 3 million less. But it's just a mess out here, man. But if you look at the graphics of just the way the particular states look, man, that is a red wave if I ever seen one. You know, it begs a couple of questions, man. But, you know, you could also bring up a lot of things about the campaign. There were a couple of things I saw the Kamala's campaign that I didn't particularly like, but it's not that something that would I think would change my vote drastically. Now, I ran across Mr. Michael Moore's film, and I thought I'd seen it before, but apparently it said it's just been released 6 days ago. I don't know if he re-released it or if this is like a remix of his Fahrenheit 11/9 film. And I came to find out a couple of things, because, you know, you hear people on the right at least talking about, well, not even the right. I'm sorry, that was a misstatement. You'll hear people on the left or progressive or what have you, and this big issue they have with the Democratic Party about what they did with Bernie Sanders. So I came across some information in that documentary, and I'm like, okay, yeah, that was kind of a dirtball move. But, you know, you've got people nowadays, and you know what irritates me? I ain't gonna hold you, man. I gotta speak on this. Why is Obama's name on everybody's lips so much when it comes to the political discourse in this country and where it currently resides? You know what I'm saying? For some reason, I'm just like, how do you always go all the way back to Obama? You know, I heard Emma. I'm watching Emma tear up in her reply and her in their show speaking on the results, and I didn't like what she had to say about actually it wasn't Obama. I think it was the little showrunner guy, and he said he traces all this back to Obama when Obama gave money to the bank. When he stood up and said on stage, he said Obama said something about that's why we have to give money to the banks and not to the people. And I didn't go and look up the quote or what have you, but, you know, as someone that watches that show, I didn't particularly like those comments. So he blamed it on Obama in the recession of 2008. Emma spoke up and said that she blamed the Democratic Party for not having a primary. Now, these are not thoughts you heard expressed from that particular set up or what have you want to call them, or any other in particular, if you want to say that. When the move was made to bring Kamala as the replacement for Joe Biden, they all applauded it. Everyone did. Everyone thought it was a fabulous move. But all of a sudden now, yeah, it's the Democrats' fault because they didn't have a primary. Previously, it was like, well, how can they have a primary and pick someone and have everybody campaign in 30, 90 days, 107 days, I think it was, between the time that Biden dropped out and Kamala took over. But I just find it interesting, the way that they, or at least the one guy, I find it interesting how he went back to Obama with it. Bernie Sanders had a lot to say about the Democratic Party. But now learning the little things that I learned about that situation, I guess I can see why Bernie has a gripe. You dig what I'm saying? If I was Kamala, man, I may just move back to Canada with my hubby, man, and just go and live it out. Because the way she got done, the way people just didn't come out for her. And we're going to get into the numbers of how they did not here in a minute. Because like I said, we got a gang of videos, man, to get into. So without further ado, we're going to talk about the Latino community, man. It's baffling the numbers that come out of this race, out of this presidential election. You know, Trump, he doesn't tiptoe around the black community, but I don't know that he's come out and been so blatant about his disdain. I don't know that anything in his plan directly addresses black people and what he says he's going to do, but Trump has stood on stage countless times and said, you know, what he thinks about people southern of the border. You dig what I'm saying? And what they're bringing into the country, and this, that, and the third.
80,000 people died as a result of the hurricane. President Trump tweeted 3,000 people did not die.
He wanted to see if we could swap Puerto Rico
for Greenland because, in his words, Puerto Rico was dirty and the people were poor.
There's literally a floating island of garbage in the middle of the ocean right now. I think it's called Puerto Rico.
There's never been an event so beautiful. It was like a love fest.
Why is no one talking about how dangerous Donald Trump's largest deportation operation would be? The one he says he wants to model after President Eisenhower's Operation Wetback?
Following the Eisenhower model, we will use all necessary state, local, federal, and military resources to carry out the largest domestic deportation operation in American history.
President Eisenhower's Operation Wetback, which is the current largest mass deportation operation in American history, deported more than 1.3 million people, including US citizens. It was full of civil rights violations. People were deported into dangerous conditions. Some people were literally left stranded on deserts, and some people died. The fact that he says he wants to model this is alarming. He also says he wants to use the Alien Enemies Act of 1798 to help him conduct this large deportation operation. That has only been used 3 times in American history, and what it does is it allows the federal government to detain and deport anyone who is not a US citizen who they believe is deemed from an enemy nation. The last time it was used in American history, more than 100,000 Japanese people, most of which were US citizens, were taken into internment camps. There are 22 million people in the United States who live in a mixed status family, which is a household with at least one undocumented person. This past weekend, we set our clocks back 1 hour. Don't let him take us back to another century.
I'm gonna vote for Trump in 2024.
Oh yeah.
Why?
Because he loves Mexicans.
What makes you say he loves Mexicans?
He talks a lot about us. He thinks a lot of us, so hey, he loves them.
So you love Trump?
Fuck yeah.
So you're gonna vote for Trump?
Yes, sir.
What about when he said most Mexicans are crossing illegally? What do you say to all that?
It's true.
Damn! Now, you also have people that have, a different take, a different outlook on this thing, and they all came out and spoke about it. You know what I'm saying?
Latinos for Trump, it is time to embrace the consequences of your actions. I've always been a firm believer of fighting fire with fire. If somebody goes low, I'll go lower. Now, with that being said, I know for a fact that most Latinos for Trump have undocumented family members, whether that be their parents, siblings, aunts, uncles, etc. So if you know of a Latino who voted for Trump, I urge you to call this number and report said family members. It's time that these Latinos for Trump get a taste of their own medicine and a taste of poetic justice. Now, I know what you may be thinking, Angel, this is extreme, and I agree, but extreme problems call for extreme solutions. And unfortunately, many innocent people are going to be affected by this, but you can't be that innocent if you raised a Latino for Trump. And before all of the Latinos for Trump come at me all angry, this is what you wanted. This is what you voted for. You should be happy. Let me see that smile. But there you have it, guys. Once again, there is that number. You know what to do. It's time that these Latinos for Trump learn the hard way. But anyways.
You know what's the worst part about that 68% of Latinos that voted for Trump? Is that so many percent of those will pull out the card of like, I'm a Latina from a minority. I'm a first generation woman and I'm like making it and I'm trying to make a business. You will pull out that card when it's beneficial for you, but then turn your back on your people when it comes to decisions like this. Like, did you forget where you come from, bro? Like, did you forget where your grandparents are from, where your parents are from? Because most of us are anchor babies. Most of our parents were not born in this country. Most of us are first gen born. Most of us are first generation going to college. Are you forgetting all the people that pick up your strawberries for you to be able to buy at the supermarket? Are you forgetting all the people that wake up every single day early as fuck before the sun rises to be able to get enough money just to survive? Oh, but like the tariffs, bro. No, dude. Which at the end of the day, the consumer will be the one paying for those tariffs. And that's what pisses me off, this hypocrisy of those same people that voted for Trump as Latinos will pull out that card and use it in your favor to get whatever the fuck you want, whether that's grants, whether that's a place in politics, whatever it is that you're doing, whether that's, putting it on your job application just to be able to get, I don't know, just to be special, just to spice it up a bit, you'll pull out that card. But when it comes to voting for people's rights, you forget all about that. You forget your roots. Like, we've come such a long way, not for you to turn your back on our people.
Now, when you ask me, I don't know the Latino experience. I know the experience of the black man.
MAGA family, I was on TikTok Live, and a fellow Trump supporter said that all he needed was my vote. I'll never be part of the MAGA family. And that I'm black, I'll never be accepted, but he just got my vote. Nah, that's crazy. Like, I love MAGA Nation, I love the MAGA family, and that breaks my heart that someone would speak to me like that right after the election, that all I was a vote? Nah, I love all you guys, and I know most of you MAGA family members are not racist, and I love you guys, and I'll keep repping MAGA Nation, Trump 2024, but that really broke my heart that some guy would say that. Extremely heartbroken.
Overarchingly, I know that no matter what financial status you achieve, in the current conditions we have here, your skin will not become invisible. I can guarantee you, even if you use whitening products.
If you're Latino and voted for Trump, here are some whitening product recommendations so you can be very white by the time he comes to office. Pond's Clarant Cream, very affordable and cute packaging, to be honest. Pond's is a household name in Latino culture, so you probably have this already. Bleaching cream that works for intimate areas. Not only your face can be white, also your coochie and your a-hole. So when we all get detained to be deported, you can tell them that every inch of your body is white. Vitamin C and retinol soap. So when you're in the shower, being delusional, thinking about all the promises that Trump made, you can keep dreaming and scrub away the color at the same time. All these are gonna work extremely fast, so make sure to have some sunscreen to protect your new skin. They will also help to hide the nopal en la cara que tienes. I promise you that they work, even though I have no idea if they work or not.
That won't help. You'd have, even if you change your name and use whitening products, you know, it's a stone's throw away from being accepted into, you know, what's viewed to be, or just, I guess, by way of default, you know, the dominant culture, the dominant race here in the United States of America. But you can see how the prospect of getting that type of footing out here, you can see how it's enticing to an individual. You dig what I'm saying? I don't know that you ever allow something to be so enticing that you vote against your interests. You understand what I'm saying? And so, you know, with that said, that's an old divide and conquer tactic, though, man. You know, you divide people and get people thinking that they're different from the other side, this, that, and the third. And, you know, the greatest trick that the devil ever pulled was convincing the world that he didn't exist. You dig what I'm saying? And so, you know, I don't know what it feels like to be, you know, an active immigrant, because I could sort of liken it, I guess, to the slave trade. We speak from the standpoint of being here against our will, but it happened 300-400 years ago. I don't know what it is to actively be in a willful immigration situation and just trying, you know, it's one thing. Black people get into it and spat and spout, and you would look at the meeting, you would have thought there'd been a lot more black people voting for Trump, but as the numbers show, black people turned out at pretty much about a 80 to 90% clip. White people, of course, about a 55-60% clip. Moreover, that was to be expected. But the Latino community came in at roughly 50%, man, among men and women. And after you see interviews and then people talking, you know what I'm saying? It's like...
Mario and Mireya Alvarez found the American dream in Las Vegas.
Would you like some coffee?
They came to the US from Mexico and Guatemala in the 80s. With his job in a supermarket and her job in a casino, they bought a house and raised 3 children. Now they wonder if their kids and grandkids will inherit that dream. Is it still possible to do that for the younger generation?
That's my main concern right now. What's going to happen to our new generation? Nowadays, they're not even able to move out of their houses anymore because everything is so expensive.
Life wasn't expensive as it is right now.
First PlayStation.
We first met Mario back in February when he was seriously considering a vote for Donald Trump. He was undecided, with previous votes for George W. Bush, Obama, Hillary Clinton, and Biden. At the last minute, he broke for Kamala Harris. But today, he's not upset about the results.
I'm kind of like more happy than upset. Why? Because Donald Trump is going to help the country with the economy.
The whole household is happy. Mireya and their 29-year-old son, Mario Jr., did vote for Trump.
Initially, I will say I did not agree with him. And then I started seeing that he was not afraid to speak his mind. And I noticed that he was not scared to say what he felt, regardless of what people would say. And I think I respect that about him.
So you liked his kind of brashness, his personality?
Yeah, I would say yes.
They're not alone. Across the country, Donald Trump made huge inroads with Latino voters. According to NBC exit polls, 55% of Latino men nationwide voted for Trump, a 19-point jump from 2020. Among Latina women like Mireya, an 8-point gain. And while Vice President Harris won a slight majority of the Latino vote overall, Trump increased his support 14 points from the last election. The top issue among Latino voters, like it is for the Alvarez family, the economy, with immigration a distant fourth. Mario and Mireya both crossed the border illegally as teenagers, but became citizens under President Ronald Reagan's amnesty. They see themselves as different from migrants crossing the border today. In what way do you think they're different?
The people that are coming here are the criminals, you know? The ones that did something bad in their country, they're running away from their law.
Despite having close family members who are undocumented,
Migrant invasion.
they don't believe they'll end up in Trump's crosshairs. When you hear Trump promise mass deportations, do you worry about them?
Yes and no, because the ones that I know, they're doing good. They're not breaking any laws.
I believe he's going to start deporting all the bad people.
Trump won over the Alvarez family and many like them. Whether the economy improves and who exactly he chooses to deport may determine if he keeps them.
My family is Latino, and a lot of them are immigrants. But at the end of the day, we're American.
Even the ones that came here illegally, that know illegal people that are here right now, they feel as though they don't belong to that group. They feel as though when Trump comes through with the promised deportations, either, you know, they won't be affected because I guess Trump isn't that mean, or because they're documented and here legal and they feel like all the other ones are doing bad. But it's a horrible look, man. And of course, you know, I hit you with a couple of these, man. This is like the wild part. You know, as soon as he won, you see a couple of tweets and things go up like this from a couple of these people. And so it's real. I mean, it's real. These are real plans that they have to undertake. From what I understand, they've already introduced a couple of bills. The status of him is unknown. He doesn't get sworn in until sometime in January. But, you know, it's crazy that a person would actually vote for that, man. If you got stances on other things, but, you know, to be honest, man, let's say the economy thing and people being broke, right? So their contention is that they were much better off 4 years ago. And I'll give them that argument if they're saying they got this free stimulus check or what have you that they're speaking of. But this is one thing I can tell you. If you have been in the United States of America your whole life, your entire life, and you are only capable of doing a job wherein that job can be competed with, or your position in that job, if your competition can be a person that came into the United States illegally with, you know, likely no education or not an education that would pass our standards to be deemed educated. If your job is threatened by a person like that, bro, that is a you problem. Guess what, cuz? You weren't doing well before 4 years ago. You're not going to be doing any better 4 years from now. You're going to be what you're going to be. The person out there that was not his job, that wasn't threatened by an undocumented person, their job been threatened today. Maybe you can say that person is going to now have to employ, and what that brings up a crazy angle. A lot of the people that swear that It's weird when you break it down because it's so double-sided dumb. So on the one hand, you have the owners of industry and, Trumpers and things like that scream, get the illegals out of our country. But at the same time, those very guys often, especially down here in the South, they often employ droves of illegal aliens. So are they saying that to just be a part of the group? Do they really not mind paying everybody $18, $20 an hour? Because if they get rid of the workforce, now they have to hire people from the community. And I guess, we're pretty sure you know what they may look like. But you're gonna have to pay them like you weigh them. You understand what I'm saying? So it's just when you break it down and look at it, man, it's just like what's really going on? But I think it's just a group think sticking with the crew. And when they looked at it, it's like, okay, Donald Trump, Kamala Harris, who would I expect to be more in tune to my life and what matters to me? This guy that I can't stand, but he could be my uncle, my brother. Or this lady that, obviously I would have no relation to her and we don't live the same experience. And I think the numbers bore that out, man. People went in and stayed tribal with it. Despite the curveball that may come with it. And, I jotted down a list of things. You understand what I'm saying? So things that I've just heard mentioned that may be affected by a Donald Trump presidency. You understand what I'm saying? The whole DACA thing. You know what I'm saying? That's got to do with the deportation and the immigrants and all that. The education system. You understand what I'm saying? They don't like what's going on in that. They want to privatize schools and all this, that, and that. It's all Project 2025 joints. Things about energy, the thing about the Department of Health, man, this whole terrorist deal. Just political revenge on other people, the abortion deal, issues with Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, school lunch. You understand what I'm saying? It sounds like a downhill proposition. To know that the black wave, if you will, that everyone thought was going to happen, didn't happen. So I don't have to jump on them too much, but to know that the votes that put him over the top came from a group that he directly spoke to and said, I am hell-bent on removing you.
Nowadays, we have in this United States 3 groups of Latinos Trump supporters. The first group is the Come Mierdas. These are the stuck-up huelebichos who believe that the little money they may have makes them white. The second group is the Hallelujahs. These are the self-righteous rascabolas who firmly believe that their religion converts them into whiteness. And the last group are the ignorant dumbasses. These are the pendejos who believe without any historical evidence that they have always been white. If you are a Latino Trump supporter and you belong to one of these 3 groups I just mentioned, congratulations. You have been successfully trumpetized against your own people in the name of whiteness. Stay woke, mi gente.
I do go a step further. You're right about that, Ilya. I favor ending birthright citizenship.
You heard Vivek? Yeah, that means if you were born here and you said, well, I'm an American citizen because I was born here. No, Vivek said no. You were born by illegitimate and illegal means, ma'am, sir. Whatever you should call yourself. And we want you out of here. This is an immigrant, foreigner himself. Also tell you, it's so crazy. But he's just kind of reiterating and getting a long line lockstep with the administration, man. And they voiced these opinions, so it's so wild. And then you hear the Miss Lady saying that, we don't think we're like them. Apparently, every other immigrant coming here illegally, outside of her and the ones she knows, apparently they're all criminals. Like, what a stupid statement to make. Of your own. I mean, you cannot make this shit up in America. Like I said, man, this is one long reality television programming, duplication, splendiferization, man. I don't know what's going on in America, cuz Le'Veon Bells and the ABs of the world. You know what I'm saying? But you know what's wild though? Now that they have achieved, you know, what they wanted to do, getting Trump elected, it's interesting to just look and see if they allow Chihuahuas to stay in America. What do you think they're gonna do about Chihuahuas, man? Are the Chihuahuas safe? Hashtag leave Chihuahuas alone. But I think that the collective is gonna have to go through an awakening process from the standpoint of, because everyone's making the argument now that they don't think that Trump is gonna go in there and make anything happen. They think it's gonna be a repeat of his first term. And I can't hold you. You know what I'm saying? You don't see me going into the political debates back and forth because I don't think I've got the temperament for it. I don't like stupid. You don't understand what I'm saying? But if you just take all the evidence and all the conversations and the people that can actually stand their ground all into account, none of them really had legs to stand on when it came to explaining what Donald Trump actually did good for the country when he was there. Outside of giving you all, you know, certain people a feeling that he like me. You know what I'm saying? I see me and him that look like and I'm riding with that to maintain, you know, my position in this thing out here, or the feeling of my position in this thing out here. So with that being said, a lot of people are saying that it's pretty much going to be a repeat of that. A revenge tour, this go around, these mass deportations, all type of things that are due to cause more angst and inflation and this, that, and the third. So it would be Donald Trump's opportunity to go out with a good legacy, but I don't think him not getting anything done in this term, I don't think that would affect and tarnish his legacy with his supporters. You know, because I have a theory that the people that, again, that don't see any prospering outside of their normal ups and downs, I don't think they have a leg to stand on to hold them to the fire. You were never doing anything with your life. So you don't have those high standards. You just got into this group conversation here lately. The people that will benefit, being the people in a certain tax bracket, they won't have anything to complain about. They never cared about people beneath them, no matter what color you are, that are deprived of. They don't care. So they won't have a complaint with it. The staunch supporters, in lieu of wanting to win the argument and maintain being right, they'll justify him not being able to get anything done by Democrats not working with him, or him just still trying to climb out of the mess that the Harris and Biden administration left in place. I don't think they'll hold him into account if he doesn't do anything. I think the fact that he deports a lot of illegals, I think that'll be enough to keep his bloodthirsty base pretty much satisfied. That's their main problem. They're like, get them out of here and we'll find out a way to pick these strawberries, and we'll find a way to get these lawns cut. We'll make some companies. You know what I'm saying? Like all this, that, and the third. So I don't think they'll really, I don't think they'll hold him down for what he doesn't get done, man. But what I do know, in an effort to come back and win these arguments, right now they still kind of gloating. But it's not as fervent of a gloat as you would expect. And my theory on that is, because in order to win this argument and come back with some solid proof, because Donald Trump is now the president, it's time to get it popping. Let's make everything right? So now you have to be able to come back at people and say, you're wrong. Look at what Trump just got done. Look at the price of this, that, and the third. Look at this heartfelt message he just came out with his last. Trump has been mysteriously quiet. You dig what I'm saying? But I think in having to actually look into some documents and some read-ups and read, you understand what I'm saying? Because I have a feeling that a lot of the crazy, right-wing websites, I have a feeling that you don't go to their page and it's all roses and peachy keen, like we're about to become the greatest economy. I think you go there and it's like, okay, Xi Jinping better get ready. Oh, look at him kissing Trump's feet. They know daddy's home. You understand what I'm saying? So in order to find some good information, some silver lining information that you have to come up out of your troll hole and now represent smiling faces and good graces when you've just been like a dungeon dwelling troll, just thick-headed person for the last 4 years. It's going to be a struggle. But once they do look into it and you read into how terrorists really work, when you see that, yeah, he really is about, he really said he's going to do this. When you look at the numbers and they're not moving, and maybe a realization to come up like, damn, bro, like, oh, man. You know, policy and real world wise, maybe these people had a point. Now, there's not many things that I give a certain side of the aisle a pass on. I'm not staunch on either side. I did vote a particular way. But you start to see a couple of things that you like, okay, I see how a person can have a problem with that. But they take it and run with it and create just you know, unnecessary arguments, man. But I think they've got a chance to see, you know, in fact, what they got in office, and then that's what they wanted. And if he does well, okay, surprise us. But I think at this point right now, they're all getting a chance to kind of look into it and actually evaluate the vote. You understand what I'm saying? I don't think they did that prior to the contest. You know what I'm saying? It was just it was a messy little political season, man. And I think it was a lot of different factors that kind of weighed into it. And so, you know, but it's going to be interesting because a lot of the favor, a lot of the camaraderie that people thought existed out here, I think the United States showed that it doesn't. So, you know, it's sort of every man for himself, man. So it's going to be interesting to see how this thing plays out. But that was my show about it. Who knows, man? Maybe I'm going on my political arc now. You dig what I'm saying? I've always tried to stay away from it, but since the election went on and happened and things went the way they went, I'm just like, what is up with the Latino people, bro? Like, what was that? I mean, that defies all logic, man. So I had to speak on it, man. So we'll keep this thing going. Of course, I'll keep it coming with all kind of shows, but you know, that was my foray into my thoughts on this here election season and how things went, man. So until next time, this has been That Way with Jack Travis, man. I'll get at y'all soon. Loud.